bother with bio sheets or anything, because you're going to find out everything that we need and then salaries or salaries they're going to push us through something that looks complicated.
Okay, well, we're all going to take part in this. Bleach is after. I can put a PDF on the chat. Some of you have seen it, lots of you haven't. I've had a good chance to have a run around and tell you all what you're doing. The idea is we're going to do a 10-minute coffee candle sprint today, and we are all going to try and create a product for the EBF, which is a coffee-scented candle based on the fact that we all meet every Thursday to connect over coffee or tea and network. So this is a product-based exercise. You've all got your roles. Does anyone not know what they're doing? Terry, come to the floor, please. And I'd like Shannon to the floor because she's my other chef. So you guys are in manufacturing. It's me as the shop steward. Overseeing manufacturer. And the rest of you are all working in a team. So Steve, you're with the finance team, because I need you to think about things like risks associated with what we're doing here, and what sort of cost maybe of an annual insurance policy. This is all obviously completely conceptual, but we all need to work together. So move around. Aidan's the judge. He's watching all of you to see how well you perform. And hopefully at the end of it, we'll have a coffee-scented candle for the EBF with a price, with some investment, with some safety if you blow up the electrics, data on hand, with some idea about marketing and sales from Elan and Sarah. And yeah, let's just go. Okay, so let's carry on and let's get going. So guys, if you'd like to pop your apron, okay, and I'm just going to pop these plates on. Just to let you know that I don't actually use these in the studio. This is my mobile masterclass hot plate. So the first thing, and you need to put the latex glass on. Again, I don't normally bring the oil bottles out to the studio. Terry, you've got some ones. I thought I'd draw the line at the mask, so it'll be a funny mask today, and just be ventilated. So the first thing that we're doing is we're just melting the wax. So the wax we're using for EBF is a sustainable, eco-friendly rapeseed and coconut base. And the notes of the candle have been pouring, so I just need to go actually to make sure it's properly. So the top notes of this fragrance we're making for EBF are coffee, obviously, and rum. And then our mid notes are a coffee liqueur, so we have a slight alcoholic influence, but it's only really just to give some zest to the fragrance, so it doesn't smell like that, see if I'm right for money. And then the base notes here are vanilla and caramel, so it's giving it a really nice, sweet, creamy texture. It is amazing, all right? It's fairly innocuous fragrance oil, so we don't really need to have a CLP. Just make note, my compliance team, you don't really need to have CLP containing labelling packaging regulation on it, because there aren't actually any sensitizers or allergies that relate to this particular oil. But we have got one. I have made it because I like to put them on. So this is the safety label that you guys are going to put onto the base of your candle vessel, which is this clear glass. So if you'd like to pop the safety label underneath your candle vessel, Espresso Martini. Espresso Martini is the name of the oil. And then what we're going to do is we're going to weigh out the oil to put into the candle. Now, I only make luxury scented candle. I don't make alpha versions. I don't use minimal amounts of oil. We use the best wax and we use the best oils. So these are optimised fragrance oils that come from a supplier that I work with in Scotland. And we're going to pour at 10%. So if you walked into Aldi and you picked up a cheap candle and it smells like this, it's not going to go.
Can you open the windows a bit?
Ask this thing first. Yeah, you can get a very slight version of what we're doing, but we're making a luxury scented candle today. It's all about quantity for the EBF. So we are at 10%. So this is a 220 gram candle. So you guys need to weigh out 22 grams of this fragrance oil. When you're ready, You're looking roughly about £1 per mil. If you're on 20, you're going to pour in. Hang on, that's it.
How many?
1 to 2 grams, please.
It's really hard to pour out.
Perfect. Terry?
Should this be
Yeah, that's fine. So that's the bain-marie. We don't directly heat the wax on to stick heat source. We use bain-marie so it just melts the wax more gently. Yeah. And that's nearly done. What I'm actually going to do. No, just don't drink. Unless you're told.
and it makes it you do it in here?
Yeah, Shannon's done some cleaning before. But what I'll do is I'll just take a little bit. Do not touch your nose because this is all you'll smell for about 3 weeks. Because it is actually pure oil, not diluted. So just waft it over your nose and pass it on. Okay. So yeah, we're just going to let that cool down. Oh, sorry, just melt nicely. So the next job is to put the wick into the vessel. It's a bit like a ship that goes into a bottle. How do we get the wick inside a solid candy? So we obviously put it in before we put the wax in. So guys, you need to turn your wick upside down. Do you remember how to do this?
Well, I just know you put it right in there.
Okay, so there's a wick pad. It is a round double-sided pad. And you're going to stick the pad to the base of your wick. This wick is relevant to this fragrance combination, to this actual recipe that we're making. Every candle that I make has a different wick. It's like a different engine in a car. This is combustion. We have to make sure we don't put too strong wick in, so it smokes, it's unstable, it soots. And at the same time, we want to make sure we get a lovely full melt pool so that you get a lovely fragrance throw and the whole thing really goes swimming through the fragrance. So if you pop your pad onto the wick, Terry, in one shot of doing this, for getting up is your fault. Shopping, the centre of that glass. I like to tell people to imagine that it's like hands of a clock, where the hands are held together in the middle of the clock. So, okay, so just look for your centerpiece, and then press that down really firmly, and then you can push down with the fingers just to make sure that the pad is through. Start flipping it very good, and press it out. That's it.
Terry, your wet's drooping.
Well, good point there, because just so that we don't actually have drooping wicks, because no one likes drooping wicks, we're going to use this little device here. I've got lots of different versions of this. These are not the ones that I use professionally, but these are the best ones for beginners to use. So what we're going to do is just keep the wick sustainer. We're just going to pop this over the wick using that centre hole there, and then you're going to just use that tiny little nick in the back of it. So you're just going to slide the wick in there to hold it steady. Okay, Shannon knows how to do this. So Shannon has done a master class in being really good. You just, that's it, and then slide it back in to make sure it's held. There's an actual. Right, Shannon, you're ready to go. Now, normally in my studio, we work to very, very, very strict temperature control. There are lots of reasons, and I won't bore you why we do that, but it's to do with the crystallisation process of the wax that we're using. I work with 2 different waxes, so I have 2 very different temperature controls to work with. It's to do with how quickly the wax cools down, and basically it is to do with combustion, and it's also to do with aesthetics. So today we obviously can't control the temperature too well. It will still work, it might just not be best candle we could actually sell for lots of money. So, but it will work, it will be a perfectly good candle. So Shannon is now going to pour. Terry, you just need to hang on until that's melted. Yeah. Shannon's going to pour the molten wax now into her mixing vessel, which is the metal jug. So normally with this wax, we now wait once we pour in the fragrance oil until it gets down to 38 degrees centigrade. So we've melted this at around about 60. We slightly hotter because we're using these bain-maries, but to pop that in there. Shannon's now going to pour pure 10% oil into the 90% wax, and then she's going to stir it for a couple of minutes, very slowly, so that we don't put lots of air into the candle. And she's going to stir it for a long time. So there's no chemical reaction taking place at the moment. What's happening is, if you imagine the fragrance oil has gone into the jar and the wax is like a duvet, okay? And what Shannon's doing now is she's enveloping the fragrance oil with this duvet. So it's a bit like bubble wrap. She's making sure she's got an even mix between the fragrance oil and the wax molecules. It takes a couple of days at least for this wax to cure and crystallise, at which point it's sealed in fragrance and it's ready to be used as a fuel, as a candle, and to create a melt ball. When we create a melt ball, the heat from the candle flame allows the released fragrance oil trapped in this duvet of wax to evaporate into the air. So fragrance from a candle doesn't come from the flame. Fragrance comes from the melt ball around it. So that is why it's important for us to have a reasonably good melt ball. If it's not warm enough, you're not going to get much throw. If it's too deep, you lose the stability of the wick. It starts to pull over because it's losing its foundation, which is also the wax that isn't molten. It's holding it in place. But when you have a candle that you sometimes see, you get, sorry, just for your cup, you get like a big ridge around one side. That would be because the wick's not in the middle, Terry's is, and so Shannon's, they've done a perfect job. And it's creating the perfect circle, but some of that circle is going on the outside of the vessel where there's no actual candle. You'll also find that happens if your melt pool is too deep, and then that means that the wick's going to just go over, and then you don't get that even melt pool in your vessel. So we do a lot of testing. We have to do testing to do British standards for fire safety, for the height of the flame, for the heat of the vessel, for how long it smokes after we extinguish it. It's a massive bar on a spreadsheet of testing you have to do. We do that in a controlled environment, and we do that every 4 hours, and we rest the candle for an hour, and then we do another 4 hours, and these burn, my candles burn for about 4 to 5 hours. So everyone can on test. We have to do 3 consecutively. If one fails, we have to start from scratch again. You have to get 3 through the test consecutively. So people think making candles is really easy. Like I do it in my kitchen, and then I go off and do a bit of yoga, and it's such science. And to have a perfect candle to put my name to, that I can then say to my clients, I want you to give that to your really important VIP customers. It's so important that we have maximum performance. So everything that Elan does is fully tested. Everything has been independently tested in another laboratory, so that it's not just us. We've got independence to be on our products. It's included. So, you have a mix? Yes. Now, at this point, normally, we will take the temperature of the wax. So, there's a big demo here for you.
Good.
Now, you want to take the temperature of wax. What's it saying? It is 57, 58, it's hot. Okay, so I use these double boilers at the studio, which are huge. One's big Bertha, one's baby Bertha, one's smaller than the other. But they allow me to make up some big one. I can do 500 cans in a day with that. And they are temperature controlled. So once the wax goes in, it just sits there at very high temperature. So for this rapeseed and coconut wax, it would just hold the wax for me at 60 degrees. Okay, because we've used a bain-marie, we've just got slightly over that. So now we're not going to do it, but now we will just put the wax, you can put these to one side, work on something else, and we come back to these when they're cooled at 38 degrees. That's the optimum temperature. Oh, we're not going to do it now. I've got 10 minutes. So, yeah, it's fine. So it will cool down as you put it into the vessel. What I suggest you do now is put the candle just onto onto the tables that are absolutely flat. When we're pouring 100 cans at a time, we are wearing VOC. I bought one in the other week, but we're wearing VOC masks, which is because it is like having 100 candles lit at any one time. So what Shannon's going to do now is pour the mixture into the vessel. So the wax will start to cool down straight away, so you'll start to see the wax beginning to step. I'm hoping that these will be set enough for you to take them away. If not, you'll leave them here and advertise easier. So that's it. Sylvia's now going to come and clean up for us.
Yeah, we've made it.
So there's the candle. But yeah, I normally pour a batch of 100 at a time, so a lot of stirring. Well, I've actually got a couple of stirring machines as well, so I've got magnetic stirrers that do work for me. But I didn't know. You need to burn off some calories. There you go. We done actually. Right, you're done. That's it, and then you can pour your mixture. So you go to play one thing, Terry. If you pour the mixture into this now, you can use these with the stains upside down like this, not a problem. But if you have got a little bit too much mixture, your wax is going to stick to that. So if I was you, I would take it out and turn it the other way and have it as a convex shape. Yeah. You are done. Thank you very much. Round of applause for her.
Yeah, you get busted.
Well done. So that, in essence, is how we make the candle. There's a lot more to it than that. As I've said, we've done a lot of testing beforehand to make sure that we put the right wick in with the right oil. So woody fragrances tend to be a laser oil. They need a lot more turbo power to get them to burn, to get the throw into the room. Citrus fragrances are much quicker to evaporate. Soft notes are much more energetic. We use in fragrance quite a lot. We use something called an aldehyde. It sounds it's obviously a chemical, but it's not harmful. But an aldehyde is synthetic that we put into the fragrance oils to give it. It's like fizzing the champagne. It's like it's that that we're giving. And so when we're working with lacing oils, when we're working with fragrance notes that don't, thank you. Fragrance notes that don't work so well, we'll put an aldehyde in it. So really quickly. Have you done your homework? Are you ready?
Yes. Yeah.
Right, so let's hear from finance team. So the cost of this, just sorry.
Yeah.
The raw material cost is £17 per pound. So what have you done that I'm going to say? Steve, how much did you drop off this?
£750.
A year, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll take that into account. Any other comments from anyone else? What about our marketing?
Yes, two ideas. All right, we're going to add to a TV show, registering your candle. Okay, you've got a celebrity version as well.
Yep.
Secondly, to get funds from investors, we're going to do it under the investment scheme where they get tax relief on their investment
Sounds good.
or the enterprise investment. Or similarly, the site is tax relief.
Brilliant. Sounds like you presenting marketing team.
Yes, so we've been thinking very hard. We've been inspired by the process and how the can we put together. And we've been thinking about what makes EVF such a strong business network. And what we've come up with, basically, we've kept the candle in this form with all the technical and the compliance. We want to make sure that when it burns, it does what it's supposed to do. However, we are designers and we do like to have a bit of fun, don't we, Matt? So what we've done is so very clever. Now think of those coffee cups you see, they're made of glass and they're plastic. But within that massive glass is actually the espresso or whatever, the flat white size. So we've taken that and we've put it in and we've thought, right, we've kept the candle like that and then we've created the glass that holds it to represent EBM. Has got a wide base because connections make us strong, and it's tall because we aim high.
I'm in for it.
Well,
Yeah, well, there's a couple of names here. So obviously, Perk, because, you know, with the coffee, it gives you a Perk in the morning and everything like that. But that obviously can evolve into Peak, which very nicely forms into
it's
design.
there's
There's obviously ones like Mocha, but then I was trying to think of something a bit more velvety, so maybe there's something around velvet, or something a little bit more sexy, chemise, you know, kind of that, nice material, gives you that nice warm feeling, but also with a bit of luxury there. So there's a couple of names in the stirring pot, so to speak.
And what about our marketing blurb, Catherine?
I'm so sorry. I just didn't realise I had to do it at the same time. I thought I was going to be given a little
Concentrate,
session afterwards. I can't multitask. I'm too menopausal to multitask.
No, come back to that.
Thank you.
workshop going on.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you think you can promote this?
Well, a few things. Obviously, we would play up very much all of the amazing, the sort of paraben-free, vegan-friendly stuff. So we really want to focus on that market as well, about how great the quality this candle is. We also think we could sell it as part of a networking survival kit with a notebook and a pen. And also, we'd be giving one to all our new members in order to have them in our homes and really to showcase them personally. But obviously, social media is the biggest one. Get it out there and get it on all of our sharing it on our socials.
Perfect. And any comments from my SEO?
So AI search, Google search for other similar projects if they exist or similar ideas that we can also learn from in advance. Briefly, Mike on images and video that we're going to capture, which you've done an excellent job of. Thank you very much. You create a blog post telling the story of the event that we've done, but also include extra info about the fragrances, sustainability, benefits, and so on, linking off to appropriate websites as we go. We're going to research other networking groups where we can host our story on their blogs, just to rub their nose to build the awareness of why we're better than they are. Build out a social campaign that we can, of course, promote, and then encourage all of us group members to share all of those stories in their own networks to get it out there to the world.
Excellent. Anyone with any other comments, Toby?
What was my performance analysis? I was concerned initially when Terry put his apron on backwards, but then I realised that deep down he knows he was superhero, which actually is cake.
You've never used one before. You've never used one.
you first dropping that tucking into his underpants.
Okay. So just a bit final check to make sure they haven't drifted. Anyone got any questions? Sorry, I don't run over. Is everyone well done? Oh, Stuart. Well, it's a little bit more than normal. So in a masterclass, if we were doing this for 2 hours, it would be ready for people to speak at the end of it. So, an hour.
No more questions.
Right.
Sorry, we haven't got time.
Can we cut that short?
Yeah.
Sally, fabulous. You obviously, the preparation is excellent. May I duty to just make 1 or 2 comments? The first comment is, I'm someone who walks into any shop with any fragrances and starts sneezing. This is the scent that I can live with. Brilliant. Really like the smell, if I can call it that. And ideal for estate agents who are helping people sell houses. Always make sure there's a candle with a coffee smell coming out. Brilliant. I was very impressed with the 2 contestants. Terry's special mention as a beginner, when he managed to get his wick standing up. And one way or the other, his stirring action was brilliant. Obviously, Shannon showed her true professionalism when we do it before. And the whole thing was well put together. It involved everybody. Absolutely brilliant.
So, round of applause.
Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kickstart. I've been feeling it since 1966. Might be over now, but I'm feel it still. Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. Let me kick it like it's 1986 now. Might be over now, but I feel it still. Got another mouth to feed. Leaving with the babies here, a mama call a grave digger. Gone with the fallen leaves. Am I coming out of left field? Ooh, I'm a rebel just for kicks now. I've been feeling it since 1966 now.
So what have you worked out for the central?
Created the glass that holds it to represent EBF, got a wide base because connections make us strong.
That obviously can evolve into PIF, which very nicely forms into this as well.
We also think we could sell it as part of the networking survival kit with a notebook and a pen.
I was concerned initially when Terry put his apron on backwards, then I realised the deep down he knows he's a superhero, which actually is true.